Welcome to another video. I'm off out on another photography hike with the camera this morning. I'm out at Ardingly Reservoir with the plan to explore the Ouse Valley. As before with this type of video though, I'm going to get walking, and in the meantime I'll get the route up and I'll share where we'll be heading out to today. So the route itself will be starting from Ardingly, and as you can see, a good portion of today's hike will result in me walking along the banks of the reservoir. I'll be following that for around the first 3 miles, with the hike itself being 8 miles in length. It's then a brief trip back into civilization, walking through the town of Balcombe. From there is the second of 2 climbs along the route, with the total route elevation being around 283 metres, before a nice stroll through a mixture of woodland and countryside as I head through the Ouse Valley and back to Ardingly Reservoir. Oh, it's a really brisk morning out here today. I didn't expect this. However, I'm starting the hike from the banks of Ardingly Reservoir because it's this scene here that caught my eye when I was pre-planning, when I was working out where to go for my hike this morning. We've got the reservoir as it stretches out into the background, the hills, the trees in the distance, but it's this structure here in the foreground that really caught my eye when I was doing some pre-planning. I thought this would be a lovely spot to come out and do a long exposure to start the morning. However, I put the ND filter on. It's why I've got the tripod set up. It's why I've got the camera on the tripod this morning, but I set up the ND filter. I manipulated the shutter speed, went to a shutter of 30 seconds and took the shot, but it's really windy out here this morning. And when I was reviewing the shot, it was just too blurry because there was just too much motion, even with a 2-second timer before taking the shot. So I've taken the ND filter back off. I'm shooting this scene at just a straightforward ISO 100 f8, giving me a shutter of 1/100th of a second. It's not going to be some artsy shot, some artsy long exposure with the water smoothed out, but it's still a beautiful scene to start the day. I think I'm going to go off and see what other magnificent shots I can capture of this beautiful reservoir, really. It's not a bad start to the walk actually, quite flat for the most part so far. I'm sure that will change further into the walk. That structure, which I thought was the dam, it's the valve tower. Just saw it mentioned on a map just back yonder. Weather report though. Started out really cold this morning. My car said it was only 5 degrees, which is a fair cry from the heat wave that we had down here in the south of England on Thursday, Friday. I think We might even get a little bit of rain. There's a 30–40% chance of rain in about 2–3 hours, so might get a little bit wet today. But equally, we've got the sun still shining, got a little bit of cloud, so we don't have that flat blue sky. So all in all, can't really complain. Well, it seems like the rain is actually a little bit early. It's had a little bit of a shower start right now, which is irritating to say the least. Of course, whilst it's good to come out for a hike, I am first and foremost about the photography. Camera-wise, I've got the Canon EOS RP mirrorless camera. Ideal full-frame camera, it's lovely and light, perfect for days like this. Lens-wise, I've got the 24–105, my trusty travel lens. It's almost like the jack of all trades, a perfect camera. If you go and take one camera lens with you, I think my pick would always be the 24–105. I've got the 100–400mm for getting that little bit of extra reach with the telephoto lens. And then I've also got with me my 15–30mm, my ultra wide angle lens. I was hoping to use that for the opening shot at the valve, but it got a little bit too much into shot using that, so I was stuck with the 24–105mm for that image. I do, however, need to be careful. This might be light, it might be full frame, but neither the camera nor my lenses are weather sealed, so it might get to the point where if it starts raining too heavily, I'll have to put the camera back in the bag, which will be annoying because then it's a case of stop starting whenever I come across a shot that I want to capture. Needs must at times. Right, long lens on, see what I can get with the reach here. So well away from Ardingly Reservoir now, which is a shame because it was a lovely walk along by the water's edge, I must admit. Although the hamlet at the very end, that wasn't too bad either. I had a bit of a stroll through Balcombe itself, clashed with civilization again, but now we're back out into the countryside. I haven't had too many photographic opportunities just yet since leaving the reservoir, but found some wild garlic as well, which was a nice surprise. Yet hopefully, before we get back to where we started this walk from, we'll find a few more shots. I know for certain we'll find something, so don't desert me just yet. I know there is a great shot before the end of this walk. Ardingly Reservoir was not the only reason for coming out and doing this trip, but I think for the meantime, let's get on. Finally, the end goal in sight, and the second subject that brought me out to this beautiful part of the countryside. Way off in the distance, the Ouse Valley Viaduct. Beautiful structure, a bit like Ribblehead Viaduct up in Yorkshire. Not that I've been up there, but it's a viaduct that was built back in the Victorian times, is really popular for photographers. Fired off my first shot, but let's see how much closer we can get. I know we can get some great shots of this magnificent engineering structure. Almost there. Here we are then, after what, 10, 11 kilometres of walking so far. This is one of the subjects I really wanted to get. We've got a train just going over at the moment. I might have to wait for the next one. This is really a train going across this magnificent viaduct, maybe from the other side, because I'll go underneath it and up the other side. But like I say, it's just this engineering marvel, isn't it? Beautiful how it just stretches across the landscape. It's been ideal for photographers before me, and I'm sure it's going to be ideal for photographers after me. And I'm also thinking, I've not used it yet so far, the 15 to 30mm. This might be the reason why I brought it along in the first place. So I've not had to use it yet. I think that's about to change. Right, I'm about a kilometre from the car, from Ardingly Reservoir, where we started this walk however many hours ago. It's been a lovely stroll out in the countryside this bank holiday Monday though. It really has, and I've enjoyed having you along with me. Hopefully the images that I've been able to capture today turn out well when I look back at them on Lightroom. However, this is where I'm going to bring the video to a close. Thank you so much for watching as always. I'll see you next week, I hope. But for now, from me, goodbye.